Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ruin Hammer Live. I'm not sure if this is going out properly. We've been having a lot of technical issues to start off the show tonight. So if this is coming through okay, if someone wouldn't mind just letting me know in the chat. We've had quite a few technical issues. So yeah, not quite sure if this is going live, but hope everyone is going well. Just trying to get Hammer back on. He's lost his connection, so I might have to just be going solo for the time being. Okay, I'm just adding him back to the stream. Hopefully this works out okay. Are you there, mate?
I am, mate. I am indeed. Sorry.
I was just trying to tell everyone, it's true to form. We're having technical issues, which is why we're on a little bit late tonight. Firstly, on my end, my old laptop is clearly cooked, so I've had to find an alternate source. And then, of course, as soon as my problem is. So that's the way we roll. It's been like that since day dot, hasn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, no point changing anything now 6 years in, is there?
Nah, how you going anyway, mate? How's the weather down there? I think it's been full on down there, hasn't it?
It's been pretty full on the last couple of days. Weird day today. Was pissing down rain all morning, and then at around about 1 o'clock this afternoon, the sun came out, and then it was like 30-degree heat. So, but yeah, we've had a lot of flash flooding. There's been a lot of rain over the past couple of days. So yeah, absolutely ridiculous weather, but yeah, here we are.
It's better you having it for once rather than me. It's usually up here that gets smashed. So. Yeah,
absolutely,
after going
mate,
through that bloody cyclone. Yeah.
How you been, mate? You been good?
Yeah, been pretty good. Been pretty busy. Yeah, as usual, a lot of kids' activities. Domi, unfortunately, has done she's got a really bad thumb sprain, which is going to put her in jeopardy for the sports aerobics showcase this weekend. So she got hit with a soccer ball. So I was in emergency this week. Thought it might have been broken. But she's doing all right now, so she'll be able to soldier on there. So yeah, always action packed up here, mate. But other than that, mate, as Malcolm says, finals are here. Like, who would have thought at the start of the year after watching that showing in Vegas, and you and I had that conversation straight after the game, and we're just like, geez, we are really worried about this season. But how good is it to actually stop and look back and realize that we're in the finals?
Well, it's interesting, mate, because it's been a weird kind of season in that respect, because beginning of the year, I don't think either of us picked us to make the 8, especially after our 13th finish last year in 2024, which was a disappointing season after our 2023 season where we finished 4th. So, but who can predict what the Warriors put up each and every year? I know I didn't predict us to finish in the top 8. And then we go through the season, we sit most of the season in the top 4. We qualify for the finals in position 6, and it's kind of a little bit deflating that we've finished 6th. Although if you had said to me in February, Warriors are going to finish 6th, I would have taken that. I would have been happy. So it's kind of been one of those weird seasons where, I don't know. It's great that we're in finals, but I don't know. I feel a little bit deflated about it too, because I really thought that we we're going to finish top 4 and get that second shot at the second bite of the cherry. I guess the best thing about where we have finished is that in that bottom half of the 8 is that we get a home semi. So if anything's going to get us over the line this weekend, it's going to be our home fans. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fantastic to have semi-final footy back at Mount Smart Stadium, and obviously the last time we played there was that famous match against the Knights a couple of years ago. What a tremendous atmosphere that was. We're expecting something similar, mate. I think you and me are the only ones from over here that haven't gone over for the game, because absolutely everyone else seems to have gone over, and we'll be over there on site on Saturday night / afternoon as it is here. So feeling a little bit of FOMO, but you can't do everything.
Yeah.
We've been lucky enough to go to a lot of games this year. But yeah, it's interesting one. Yeah, Richie Morgan, the Godfather, of course, whose page we're streaming on through Warrior Nation through his blessing. He's over there, of course.
Yep.
A bunch of the other Warrior Nation admin are over there as well. So yeah, it's going to be a massive occasion as usual.
Yeah, and it's good to see some honesty in the chat as well. Jacko saying he had us finishing 10th as well. So yeah, it's one of those things like following on from last season, and I mean, it's not that we're like there's so many. I love passionate fans, and I love our optimism, but sometimes our optimism gets away from realism. And you've got to be realistic. And we're coming up. I mean, we're going to talk about this a little bit later on, but we're coming up against the 4-time premiers who are going for a 5. And I know they finished in the bottom of the in the bottom of the 8. I mean, let's look at what the people ladder in round 12. Qualify for the finals has been absolutely amazing for them, and they're going to be a tough opponent because they know what it takes to win a premiership. They've done it 4 years in a row, been in 5 grand finals in a row. So, going to be a very, very tough ask. But like I said, the home ground and the home fans hopefully will get us home. Although this season, our home record has not been as good as
far from it
as our away record. So
far from it. We've
maybe
seen more
we might have been
away,
better playing it over here. We have.
Yeah.
Absolutely we have. Should we just digress for a little bit? We'll just talk about last week's game. What were your thoughts on that game last week? Because see, this is the other thing which leads us into the finals. And I know everyone says finals footy it's a different competition. The real comp starts now. But what we had 3 wins in our last 10 games. And we lost games to teams like Paratons a couple of weeks back before we actually beat them. All teams that weren't vying for a finals, and then Manly turn around and beat us.
Yeah, it's a massive concern. The form, and I think we're still sorry guys, we're still having a few little technical difficulties. I'm not sure if it's on my end or Hammer's end, but we'll continue. We'll continue on, but I think discussing the form leading up. Ever since Metcalf went down with injuries against the Broncos, I think we've only had 4 or 5 wins since that day, and we've really struggled for consistency and continuity since then. Unfortunately, the last month of football has been the same. We had a dream start against Manly. We couldn't have asked. We could not have asked for a better start. A try after 9 seconds. And then, unfortunately, after that, it was a bit of the same old story. We were getting exposed badly on the edges. Dallon's edged a couple of easy tries there. So, look, there were some good signs. I thought Sam Healey was fantastic, and that's why I'm a little bit disappointed he wasn't selected in the team this week. But we had our moments, but unfortunately, it was a little bit of the same old from what we've had. And the attack struggled at times. As I said, Healey was the one that seemed to spark us. Probably the final score wasn't really a true indication of the game. I mean, they got out to a 7-point lead, of course, with Cherry Evans kicking them clear, which ended up being the difference, which it always seems to be when we play Manly. And how fitting is it that he ends his career doing what he's done so often and being like a constant tormentor of ours. It's just a really scrappy game. Deteriorated in that final, probably the back half of that second half, and from that point on, neither team could hold onto the ball, and that's something that we really, really need to improve. heading into the first week of finals. We know it's a different beast, and as Hammer said before, like, we're coming up against 4-time premiers. They know how to win finals games. We do have a bit of an ace up our sleeve. We've got one of their best in our team from the past 4 years, in James Fisher-Harris. So hopefully he can give us some insights into what into how to beat his former teammates. We've got Hammer back, but we'll continue on. I've just been talking about the game against Manly. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't the ideal way to finish the season, but as we said, we've just got to accept that that's where we finished, and we just got to accept that it's a sixth place finish, and we did really well to finish there. So we find ourselves in the position where we do have a home final, and I guess at this point in time, we're all Warriors fans here. And while our form hasn't been great, we're all optimistic. There's a huge amount of excitement over there, as we know, as we said before. So many people from this side of the ditch have headed on over for the game on Saturday. Well, it's Saturday night over there, but Saturday afternoon here in Australia. So we're all looking forward to it. We're just trying to generate a lot of positivity, and there's going to need to be a huge effort, but we, as someone said before, it does have a feeling of that game against the Storm, 8th versus 1st. So us sort of being up against it. But we've got a history of causing upsets, and why not one more in 2025? Are you with us, mate? Can you?
I can hear. I don't know how it's going to be though, because I keep getting.
Yeah, yeah, we're dropping out a little bit, but we'll keep going. So, what was everyone's thoughts? What was everyone's thoughts on the team that was announced? We can just continue with some of the comments in the chat. Is everyone happy with the team that was announced? I for one would have loved to have seen Healy added onto the bench. Yeah, mate, kick everyone off your Wi-Fi. It's what
you know
Malcolm
what?
is suggesting.
I'm plugged directly into the computer. It's I don't know if it's program.
It's
I don't
something.
know what the fuck's going on.
Well, yeah. Well, DCE has plagued the Warriors for years. Technical difficulties have plagued Ruin Hammer for years. It just seems to follow us wherever we go, whichever laptops, whatever we're on. But that's the nature of the beast when we do go live, is that sometimes these gremlins pop in the system. So yeah, continuing on. What is everyone's thoughts on the team? Were there any changes that anyone would have liked to have seen? I personally would have liked to have seen Healy on the bench, and I was actually hoping with Rocco injured again. Yeah, and that's another talking point. Is another injury to Rocco Berry. He only lasted about 4 or 5 minutes against Manly as well. So who knows what's going to happen to him sort of moving forward. He might be another one of those sad cases like Ben Henry, and I'm just trying to think of the other example of guys that had to retire. Just Nate Roach couldn't stay on the field because he just had a lot of injuries. So let's hope that that's not the story of Rocco Berry. But with him being out, I think the predictable move that everyone expected Webby to make was putting Kurt Capewell back in the centres. And while he's solid and dependable, from my perspective, I think one area that we've been struggling with for a bit is scoring points. And the weakness has been defensively out on that edge. And I'm just worried that Penrith are too clinical of a side to not exploit that. Alamotti has been put in there. They're obviously going for a bit more size over speed, with Jenkins missing out, which surprised me. But you can see them targeting Dallin's wing again and again, as every other team has over the past. Let's face it, it was happening back in the Newcastle game, wasn't it, mate? When we were there, they were just
Apologies to everyone again. Yeah, is Pompey playing inside Dallin, or is Pompey playing inside Rog?
I don't. I'll have to double check the team, but
I
yeah,
agree with
it's
Malcolm. I would have rather have had Leckart playing in the centres and keep Capewell at in the back row. And the other thing too
predictable
is,
why Webby didn't though, because it's like I just could feel that he was just, if there's any week he was going to play it safe, it was going to be this week. He was going to be conservative, seeing as though it's finals.
yeah, and a guy like Sam Healy has proven. I mean, he's only played 5 or 6 games this year, but every game he's come on, he's like made a difference, and he did it
Certainly
again
has.
last week. He was the only one that looked likely last week to spark something against Manly.
Yeah, it was all through him.
Except for, of course, the first try, which was, I don't know if you've spoken about that, but that was just ridiculous.
We couldn't have got a better start, and this is something I didn't mention, but I think that probably was to our detriment because that happened so easily, and I think the guys, you could sort of see the reaction from them, like, how good is this kind of thing, and they might have dropped intensity a little bit there because. Yeah. As I said before, mate, like they went up the first time they went up the other end, they scored a ridiculously easy try on us. Yeah, like about 2 or 3 minutes later, and just exploited. And Dallin came racing in again, and I know we keep talking about it, but it's a genuine issue. So according to the team list, it's Dallin, Pompey, Capewell, and Rog. So I don't know whether that'll get moved around a bit, but I was really hoping, as I was saying before, with the injury to Berry, I was hoping they would go back to the Chance back to centre and Tane at fullback.
Yeah,
and I know that they're all got all their stock in Chance as the fullback because they're the very defensive minded. Webby's a defensive minded coach, and he prefers to have Chance in there. Bigger body, bigger meters, can take the contact a bit more, but we just miss out. I feel we lose out on so many different attacking variations because when Tane was in there, he had in his brief stint when he was back in the team, he had like 4 try assists. He set up both of Pompey's tries in that game against the Dragons as well. Did. So yeah, that's the only thing for me because I'm just really worried about points. And yeah, I mean, again, you look at our tries last week, and we had 1 try after 9 seconds from a kickoff. We had one try that was a barge over, and then we had what did we have? Two tries to Dallin out on the edge. So we're like even last week, even though the scoreboard said it was close, I don't think it was as close as the final score. I think Manly would always seem to
when you're playing for a top 4 spot though. Like these are teams that we should have been smoking. Should have been absolutely smoking these teams. And yeah, we just didn't do it. Well, who out there in the market is a Jerome Reed buddy or Tupi to buy? Fuck.
Well, exactly. I mean, those are 2 of those are probably our 2 best centers ever, and we were very blessed to have them at different times. 2 different very successful eras, and since then we've just struggled in that position.
Yeah, a real game breaking center. There's to be quite honest, there's not a lot of real game breaking centers in the NRL. You'd probably look at a guy like Herbie Farnworth, Stephen Crichton, Katoni Staggs, but most of the centers in the NRL are kind of extensions of a back rower and good at putting away their outside man. Guys like Will Penasini, Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly's off contract at the Titans. I'm not saying he'd ever come to the Warriors, but he's one. Every time he plays us, he causes us problems, and he's a gritty centre. I don't know. I think what we have to be as Warriors fans is be patient with our pathways. We've won the Harold Mats 2 years in a row. Our SG ball side has been competitive. Our flag side is competitive. We've got some good young guys coming through the system. Our New South Wales Cup side is basically full of SG ball and flag players from last year. guys that haven't had an opportunity to play first grade yet, like Pacifica, what's the Siokali, guys like this that are running around in reserve grade, and they're just an extension and another. You look at the guys that have come through in Laban, Tanastower Smith, Vaimunga, Leka Halasima, and now Eddie.
What about Ali? But what about Ali? Like that's the other big question, isn't it?
Yeah. What about Ali? Ali's he's not playing reserve grade, so he's obviously injured as well.
He's injured, and I think Webby lost a little bit of faith in him for his defensive game. And as we said before, Webby is a defensive-minded coach, and I think he kind of fell out of favour mid-year and hasn't featured in first grade again since. Started the season in a blaze of glory, scoring a few tries, but there's two sides to the game, and the hallmarks of a great centre is being able to read the defense and be a really good defensive player. So as well, I
think our problem at the moment, and it may be an unpopular opinion, but I think our problem here and now is the fact that we don't have first grade standard halves. Metcalf did a great job this year. I see Metcalf more of a 6 because his first option is run. His first thought is run. I reckon Metcalf would be an ideal 6 and put a genuine 7 with him. Whether that genuine 7's Jet Cleary next year, I don't know. But I really don't think, if I'm being realistic, I don't think we have the squad to win the premiership this year because our halves just don't control the game the way other halves do.
Well, it's our troubles. Our troubles all began when Metcalf went down against the Broncos that afternoon. And as I was saying before, we've only won, I think, 4 or 5 games since then.
Yep.
There's and we can only play with what we've got. And these guys are, CHT has been great all year. We've been pretty good all year. But as we said, he's had Metcalf next to him for most of the season, who takes a bit of pressure off by producing those individual moments where we get points and comes up with the big plays, and there's not as much pressure on him. But I'm not sure that these guys are gelling quite as well as we would like. But hey, that's what we've got to work with. And then again, 2007, 2008, we had a pretty unheralded halves combination of Michael Witt and Grant Ravelli, who got us a few wins there. So you never know. But I know where you're coming from.
Yeah.
And we're coming up against the best in the business in Nathan Cleary. So
that's the fear. That's the fear for this week. I mean, you hear, like as I said at the beginning of the show, we've got such great, passionate fans who are very optimistic. But sometimes you've got to be realistic. And we've been in conversations with people. People are talking about when we play the Broncos in 3 weeks, and it's like, get your heads on, right? We've got to get past this game this week. Yeah, 1 week at a time. Yeah. Look, we haven't beaten. We've won 3 games out of our last 10, and people are thinking that we're going to win the next 4 in a row. That's ridiculous. Let's.
Having said that, like we're all for being positive, and yes, we're all Warriors fans, and we all 100% want us to win. But something that we've always sort of said on as Rue and Hammer is we don't sugarcoat things. When things are not going well, we sort of call it as we both see it. But of course, at the end of the day, we're all Warriors fans. This is our opinion. And we're right behind the boys, and we're hoping that they can produce something special, because it's going to take something very special on Saturday night. But we've seen it before.
It is indeed. Jacko's saying we lack speed out wide.
Absolutely, yeah. Another big concern. It will be a Dad's Army back 3 next year. There, it will be. That's the we don't have any genuine speedsters. And I'm not saying the guys that aren't playing. I still think
regardless what happens. Rogers had a season this year that warrants that he keeps that spot next year.
Absolutely. It has to be there.
We've said all season with Tane's speed, he's not the biggest guy on the field, but he's just so electrifying when he's got the ball. Always looks dangerous. And it seems to be the thing now that the fullbacks of today are not big men. Mate, look at Jai Gray at the Rabbitohs. He's the smallest guy I've ever seen. We saw him at Redfern when he walked past, and I thought it was Reggie the Rabbit, a dwarf walking past. He's the smallest first grade footballer I've ever seen. And
Keanu Kenny is not a big man either.
He's not a big man either. But they're seeing Jai Gray up close. I was so surprised at how small in stature he is, but fuck, what a heart that kid's got. And Tane's the same. There's not a lot of Tane, but gee, he's got a lot of heart. And I don't know. And Sio Carley, from everything that he's done in reserve grade, and if you're in Sydney this weekend and you're free on Sunday, our reserve grade team are playing for a chance to make the grand final at Leichhardt Oval at 1:00. Shit scheduling by the NRL and the New South Wales Rugby League, because our women in their return season can't make the finals. They're playing their final game of the season at Campbelltown Stadium at midday. So you can only get to one of those games. I'm actually hoping to get out to the girls' game at Campbelltown for the main reason it's their last hurrah. And if our boys don't win this week, we still get a second bite of the cherry the following week against the winner of, I think it's the Raiders and the Eels. And if the boys do win this week, they go straight through the grand final. So there will be an opportunity. But if you want to show some support here in Sydney, get to Leichhardt Oval this week to watch our reserve grade. Sio Carley, he's been outstanding for us out in that side. Setsu got to run at centre. I heard that he's leaving again. He's a guy that's been and gone a couple of times, isn't he, Rob?
He has. I think this is like his third stint at the club. So, it's an interesting one. He got upgraded to the top 30 last year, and then he left again. He went to Melbourne Storm and came back. I think he's had time at the Dolphins as well. So, interesting one. Here's a question from Troy. Take Cleary out of the equation. Where do you see this game won and lost, lads?
Forwards.
Forwards.
It's going to be whoever lays the better platform, because we're not going to score long range tries. That's just not our thing. We don't have the speed to do that. I know we've scored a couple this year, but not many. Our big thing is going to be earning the right to get the ball to our edges, and to do that, we're going to have to make sure that we win that forward battle. We win the ruck. The big one for us is penalties and errors. That's what seems to fuck us every time we play. I think we get penalised the most for guys falling over in the play of the ball. And if we've got referee Peter Goff, he does love a ruck penalty, mate. He does love a ruck penalty. It's true. Yeah. For me, I think it's up the middle. Just laying that platform, working hard off the ground to get to our feet, to earn some quick play the ball, and hopefully get some six against it. Give us that momentum into our good ball sets, and then utilise our danger men. Utilise guys like Lecker on an edge. Adam Pompey. I think Adam Pompey's been outstanding for us this year, and Pompey's got that ability to draw two players in and then release Roger out the back. So I think that's where we're going to – but it's going to take a concerted 80-minute effort. That's the thing, and that's something that we haven't been doing.
We're going to have to defend our asses off as well. Like, I can see this. If we're going to win this, I think it's going to be a real tight grind. We'd have to get into the grind. And then, our edge defense obviously needs to improve. But I think we're just going to need to ice that big moment. Like, if it's a really tight game, then we just need someone to step up to the plate. In Metcalf's absence, someone who just that little bit of individual brilliance might be enough to get us over the line. But yeah, I mean, you can't see us going out there and putting 40 or 50 on the Panthers. So you know that it's, and I don't think we can go with them if it becomes a you score, we score kind of game as well. So yeah, our best chance, I feel, is to get into the arm wrestle, win the forward battle, and just defend really well and make the most of our opportunities when they do come around.
Yeah, I think too. I was reading somewhere. I think the last couple of times we've played Penrith, they haven't been big scores anyway.
No,
they've always been close games. So yeah, look, I really hope the boys are on and up for this one. I still, we've said all season in Webby we trust, but I think not having Sam Healy in this 17 is a major mistake. Here's a question for you, mate.
Yep.
Just off the cuff, because this is something that I thought about. Sam Healy is probably more important to this 17 than Tanner Boyd is, I would say. Would you have liked to have seen Tamati Martin start at 7 so that Healy could be on the bench? Because you can't have both Healy and Tamati Martin on the bench. So Tamati Martin start at 7, experience and what have you, and Sam Healy in the 17 and Tanner Boyd drops back to reserve grade. Thoughts on that scenario?
Tanner Boyd dropping back to reserve grade. Look, I think the other thing we're going to need is a good kicking game. Tamati Martin doesn't have the best long kicking game either, so that's a tough one.
This was something that was on Webby's mind a couple of weeks back because he did it. He dropped Tanner back to reserve grade and he promoted Tamati at 7. And then Tamati had that was weird. That HIA.
That was really weird. Yeah. He
got that HIA, which meant that the following week Tanner Boyd had to come back in because Tamati Martin was doing the 11-day mandatory stand down. I see more from Sam Healy than I do from Tanner Boyd, because all Tanner Boyd seems to do is, I will say he has a good kicking game and he does go deep in the line, but he's really just a pass option. And Martin can do that.
He's starting to, I will say, in Tanner's defense, he has started to run the ball a little bit more in the last few weeks. I think probably since that Dragons game. But yeah, Martin's definitely got a better running game. It's a real tough one. But I think,
and the other thing that
I don't know that I would be dropping Tanner Boyd, I must say. I think we've come too far. It's a massive gamble.
I'm a gambling man. The other thing too is Egan's injuries.
His history of injuries.
Having a guy like Healy on the bench.
There's still time to have Healy in there, and who knows, Webby might be playing mind games with his old mentor, and he might be about to make a host of changes. We're going to find out. Was it 20? So tomorrow they have to drop the squad down to 19, right?
Yeah.
So 24 hours before kickoff. So we'll know. We'll have a bit of a better idea about what he's thinking then. There's also word that Eddie Iramia Tuiava is also under an injury cloud.
Yes.
So I don't know if there's something that a bit of a shuffle that could happen there that could get Healy in there. And I don't know. Could Healy be back row, middle forward, backup?
He's big enough.
Well. He's a big guy. He is a big guy for a dummy half.
Yep.
So that could be another option. But seriously, we've really struggled in the points department. And when he's played, he's just looked like sparking everything, bursting out a dummy half right up the middle there, and
he's
crafty out a dummy half as well.
The only issue I have with Healy being on the bench is a couple of times this year where he has been on the bench, he's only got 10 minutes. He's got Gutho origin minutes at the end of the game.
Yeah.
He needs to be injected earlier into the game. And as you said, if that means that when Jacko Ford comes off or James Fisher-Harris comes off for a breather, Aaron Clark moves into the front row and then Healy comes on and he plays that extra ball player around the ruck, because he does have a good running game too. He's got a great running game.
Yes.
That's my only issue with Healy on the bench, is that even if he's on the bench, it's a wasted position because he doesn't
It's
get
a
utilised.
rotation spot that it's taking up. I think I was who was saying it? I think it was the TWL boys were saying that like Kalani going the last couple of weeks has been the extra man on the bench, and whether or not they look at bringing him over, that's a big ask for a guy that's only played one first grade game before, and I know he's played a lot of New South Wales Cup, but that's a huge step up to ask him to come into the side.
Agreed. And he's the captain of that New South Wales Cup side too. So I think, like, I think if you want to be genuine to the guy Kalani himself, is you've got to play him in reserve grade and give him the opportunity to captain that side to a grand final.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a real tough one because as someone said before, like, we've just been so unlucky with injuries. But as quite a few teams have been really unlucky with injuries, and we just sort of are in this position where we can only play the hand that we've got. So yeah, but yeah, who knows? Like, Webby has done a lot of late changes of late, has made a lot of late changes of late. So yeah, I don't know. Surely he was watching the same game that we were watching last week.
Well, yeah,
as you said,
I think
Webby, we trust. Yeah,
yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Troy's asking, can Lecker play to his full potential when starting? Expected to do huge minutes against such opposition? Yeah, it's a good question, mate.
Fair point.
Beginning of the year, he was playing 80-minute games because he was starting at back row and playing 80-minute games. And then there was a period mid-season where Webby noticed that his concentration and his work ethic had dropped a little bit, and he was just tired, which is why they moved him back to the bench, and he's just been playing him in short spurts. So I think he can. Lecker's a freak. He's an absolute freak, and I know he can do the job. I would prefer. I mean, I know it doesn't make much difference between back row and centre, and they can switch and swap, but I probably would have preferred to have him marking up on Tungo or Casey McLean rather than one more in up against Liam Martin and Scott Sorensen. But it's a lot of pressure to put on such a young guy, because the guy, he is still only 19. But I think he's the game breaker for us in this game.
It's his individual brilliance that has won us games in Metcalf's absence. A number of times. And he's got that X factor. And he's a game breaker. So yeah, I get why Webby has been managing him that way.
Can you believe, as Wars fans, I was thinking about this the other day, this is only our 10th finals series that we've qualified for. So we're 30 years. So we're operating at a 33% success rate of making finals, which is pretty awful. I was looking at all the teams that have like the Roosters and Storm and Penrith and that, who have been there regularly over the last couple of seasons. And we were a shot out of the box in 2023 and went one game short of a grand final. Last year, we probably should have made the finals and everything fell apart. And then this year, it's been the exact opposite. All those close games that we've lost in the past, we've won, which has kept us in this fight.
It's true. Last year and this year have actually been very similar. The only difference has been, and to our credit, is that we have won those games that we didn't win last year that had us just missing out on the finals. It's interesting, isn't it? To look
and St.
back
George,
and think,
I was looking at the Dragons. The Dragons this year are similar in that respect, where I think that 8 games have lost by 6 points or less this year.
Yes. Yeah,
which
but
was
two to us. Yeah.
Which was us last year. How many of those you'd know this off the top of your head? I'm saying 5 of the 10, or 4 of the 10. Sorry, have we bowed out the first week? I know we 2001, we lost to Parramatta. We'll go on in week 1.
01, yeah. I mean, we were lambs to the slaughter that week, but it was just a victory getting there. 02, we went all the way to the GF. 03, we made it to the prelim.
Yep.
07, we went out in straight sets when we were top 4.
Yep.
08, we went through to the prelim.
Yep.
2010, we were screwed over by the McIntyre system. We finished 5th.
Was that when we lost to the Titans? Was that the Titans?
We lost to the Titans' only ever finals win was in 2010 when they beat us, and we were expecting to have a second bite of the cherry, but 7th, 6th, and 7th won.
It was your mate. It was your mate Edric Lee playing for Canberra that scored in the corner. I think it was against Penrith or something like that.
No, wasn't it Shandor Earl? Was it? Or,
was it Shandor Earl, was it?
I don't know. It was someone like that. Yeah, it's Penrith. Raiders beat Penrith on the Saturday night and knocked us out. So we went out first week there, extremely unlucky. 2011, we were but we did lose heavily.
We got beaten by the Broncos, didn't we? Yeah.
Beaten by the Broncos. I was at that game. We got absolutely smashed, and then we got a life because 7th and 8th lost.
Yeah.
So, and then we beat the Tigers, then the Storm, and went to the grand final. Yep. 2018, after
Penrith.
Rog went down, we were leading 12-2. Rog went down early, and that was at the time SJ's last game for the club, and he did not have his finest hour in that game, and we sort of bowed out first week there. And then we didn't make the finals again until 2023. So we were top 4, lost to Penrith, beat Newcastle, and then lost to Brisbane in the prelim. So,
so our last three, including this game coming up on Saturday, our last 3 finals appearances, we played Penrith in that first game each time.
Yes, we have. 100%.
Okay.
Yeah. It's interesting comments here. And how many coaches have we had since 2011? Quite a few.
Okay. Bluey McClellan, Matt.
Bluey McLennan. No, McLennan didn't even last his first season. He got punted. Tony Iro took over for the last couple of games. Matty Elliott. He got sacked. Cappy McFadden. Stephen Kearney.
Nathan Brown.
No. Todd Payton.
Nathan
Brown. Stacey Jones. And now Webby.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. But in amongst that, so that's what's that? 2011 to now. So that's 14 years.
Yeah.
So 14 years. What's that? Nine coaches, and Kearney was there for 5.
Look. To be honest, though, like a few of those were interim. So Stacey, Tony Iro, and Toddy Payton were interim coaches. But Todd Payton coached us for most of that 2020 season. So that's a little bit more than Kearney got sacked after about 4 or 5 rounds, I think. So yeah. Yeah, but like as Jacko's saying, like it's quite possible Webby could be our longest serving coach. Take over from Cleary, who coached us for 6 years, 6 or 7 seasons. Yeah.
Well, Webby's contracted to 2028, isn't he?
Yeah, not a great list. Well, yeah, we never said it was a great list.
Never said it was a great list, mate. We just said it's a list.
It's a list. That's it.
Mate, of the teams that are in the top 8, before a game is even played this weekend, what is your prediction for the grand final? Who are the 2 teams that you think will win the grand final? Will go through the grand final?
Oh, look, I'd love to say the Wars. My heart is saying Warriors. I don't care who we play in the grand final, but my head is saying Broncos. I really think the Broncos are coming into form at the right time of the season. Our little mate, Reece Walsh, the toilet water is obviously agreeing with him because he's playing fantastic footy.
He's bottled it and selling it now, by the way. He's bottled
it. Reese's plumbing, yeah. And I think Reynolds and Mam out of the team, they actually look like a better side, and they're playing better without those guys in the team. Ben Hunt's wound back the clock. So I really think the Broncos are a strong premiership contender. I would say, I actually think Brisbane-Canberra grand final.
Yeah.
If the Warriors aren't going to be in it, Brisbane-Canberra.
Yeah, I think
if that's even possible.
I think I'm pretty much, yeah, it is possible because they play each other this weekend, and then whoever loses goes to the other side of the draw. So they will meet. They can meet again in the grand final, similar to Tigers Cowboys in 05.
Yeah, and Penrith Souths in 2021 because Souths
Yeah.
beat them in the first week of the finals.
That's right, they did too.
Yeah.
I agree.
What are
For
you
me,
thinking?
it's the same.
Yeah.
Same. I'm just watching the Broncos at the moment, and from where they were a couple of months back, where people were bagging them out and they'd lost direction, they'd lost all the impetus into the comp. Howard Madge's got them playing now. They're so dangerous. They are so dangerous.
It's to the point where I think they're actually the premiership favourites. I think Canberra might be lacking a bit of big game experience.
Well, Canberra can't win now because they got beat by over 50 on the weekend.
That's right. Oh, of course. Yeah.
So if Canberra do win, I mean, Canberra deserve it. They've been the form team all season. But it doesn't always work that way, does it?
No, not at all. Yeah.
No. That's going to be an interesting game. That's going to be a cracking game on Sunday.
Yes, very much looking forward to that. It's a full house. And
let's talk about the games coming up this weekend, mate. Because the Storm Bulldogs tomorrow night. Two teams that I know we've limped into the final, but gee, these two teams are not playing good footy either, and now hit with injuries and suspensions. Neither of these teams are at full strength. Serrato's pulled a Swifty and he's dropped Reid Marnie and he's bringing sexy Toby Sexton back in to the 17.
Oh, sexy boy. Yeah. Is that an admission? Is that an admission from Serraldo?
I don't know.
This is a really tough one to pick because only a few weeks ago they played a cracking Friday night footy game in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Melbourne had their big guns and they're missing. The thing that worries me about Melbourne is they're missing a lot of personnel.
Yes,
and they
no Pappenhausen, no Jerome Hughes, no Asafa Solomona for this one. I think is it Jonah Pezzett that's been named at 7 for him this week?
Jonah Pezzett, yeah, he hasn't played a lot of footy this year because he hasn't been able to because the other halves have been going too well. So I don't know. Look, the other thing that worries me about the Bulldogs is they seem to have fallen off a cliff as well, and they're sort of struggling to score points too. They only got 6 points last week against the Sharks. I'm gonna have to stick with the Storm just because they're at home, and Bellamy would be ropeable having lost all those games heading into the finals. So I'm gonna have to stick with their game experience of the guys that they do have there.
I agree.
And I just can't trust the Bulldogs at the moment. And I just feel like bringing Sexton back in is basically an admission from Serraldo. It's like, hey, we may have got this thing a little bit wrong. So, like, if we have him there in the mix and Galvin's struggling, they can do a bit of a switch and they can go back to what was working before his arrival.
If we beat the Panthers on Saturday, we play the loser of that game, that Bulldog Storm game.
Right. G'day, Brian.
Which is probably probably the better side of the draw to be on. I'd rather be playing the loser of that game than the loser of the Raiders Broncos game.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. But either way, if let's just say when we get through this week, and we play one of those teams like they're far from me, like the two of the best teams all year. So it doesn't get any easier.
Correct.
And yeah, I don't know. The Bulldogs started off the year and last year they were really strong defensively, and I think they've sort of fallen away from that a little bit, and they're sort of in no man's land, I feel, at the moment, where they're not offering a lot on attack, and they are starting to leak a few more points. So yeah, I don't know. Just don't know if I can trust them.
I'm tipping the Storm in this one too, mate. I think the Storm will get the Chockies. I didn't get your thoughts on our game. What are you predicting in our game? A nervous 2-point victory?
Hey, I'm going to keep this positive. All right, I'm going to keep this positive because that's what Richie would want. That's what Richie's been pushing all week, and I'm gonna stay on track. I'm gonna fall in line here. I'm gonna go an upset for the ages, and a very, 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 very nervous 2-point win. The kind of win we're defending our own line for basically the last 10 minutes of the game, and we just hang on. But at the end of the day, who cares? If we win, we win. I'm gonna stick with the boys. Nervous 2-point win. You?
I'm with you. I think if we win, it's only going to be a 2-point victory or something to that effect. I don't want it to go to Golden Point. The issue that we have is that even a 2-point victory is not safe because we know Nathan can nail 2-point
field
goals.
That's it. I know. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think for us to win, it's a 2-point victory, something very, very close. That's what my heart's saying. My head's saying Panthers may just get us, but I'm going to keep it positive. And
it might be like something like 14-12 or 18-16 or something like that, because the only way that we'll stay in the fight is if we keep it close. So, mate, Rich, we're with you, boys over there. We're with you.
We are.
Let's just get them home. We got to push them back. Way back.
Brian's got us 10 plus.
10 plus. Oh, can we lock that in?
Yeah, I hope so, mate. I'll
take that, Brian. I love your positivity. 2018, that's not a bad shout. That could be. I'm just hoping it's like I hope we sort of come back and steal it. I just don't like us getting out to a lead and then nervously having to hang on. Like those kind of games just stress me out no end.
Yes.
Yeah. And I agree, Chris. The crowd would go absolutely bananas like they did a couple of years ago in that Knights game. So, yeah.
Sharks Roosters is the other game on Saturday, mate. Who are you tipping in this one?
I don't know. Nico Hines should have been suspended for this, but of course isn't because we can't rob the fans. Yeah, look, I'm gonna go with the Roosters, and the Roosters have a bit of history of beating the Sharks in finals games at Shark Park when the Roosters have sort of scraped into the finals.
Yep.
Like Marky Mark, Noel Wonga-Nitawazi is just an absolute freak. He can win it. He could win that game by himself.
Sam Walker.
Sam Walker's back playing. And the Sharks have just been too inconsistent, as they have been for the last few years. And yeah, I just don't see them being able to contain the Roosters if they really get going like they have for the majority of the last 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, I agree, mate. I picked the Roosters in that one too.
I think it'll be close. Let me add that I think it'll be a close game. I think
I don't think it will be.
Yeah, I think so.
I think this will be. Okay. I reckon the Roosters will get them 13 plus. I think once the Roosters start get out to like a 10-point lead, I think the Sharks will fall away. The Sharks don't have the fight in them. They're not that gritty fighting type of side. They're, as you say, they're flat track bullies. Once they get behind on the scoreboard, they capitulate. So yeah.
Okay.
And Raiders v Broncos. We're both. Are you tipping the Raiders or the Broncos, mate?
Mate, I'm going to tip the Broncos. I think the occasion might get the better of the Raiders, and I think I can sense, as Denon Kemp has been saying for years, it's the year of the ambush, baby. But I think this year the Broncos might actually ambush them. All the pressure's on the Raiders, finishing top of the table. Got the home final, a sellout. Broncos have got momentum coming into the finals. That strong win over Melbourne and the previous week. So I'm going to go what is probably going to be considered an upset. I'll go the Broncos Broncos by 8.
Okay, I'm going to go Broncos by 4. Yeah, Broncos by 4. NRLW games this weekend. It's the last round of the NRLW, mate. Unfortunately, our Warriors girls cannot make the finals.
Still been a good year.
It's been a great year. I think it's been, I think everything that Rod Griffiths set out to do, he's achieved. Building a club from the ground up. We've had some wonderful results this year. We've discovered some really good Broncos by
forward pass. Yeah, I like that.
We've unearthed some great talent within this squad. Couple of games that, like the game that really stands out for me, even though we lost it, was the game against the Raiders, where we had a good period of that game and only lost by 4 points or something like that. So it shows that the heart that these girls have. Games kick off tonight. Sharks versus Roosters tonight. It's probably on right now. What's your tip in this one?
It'll be on right now. Look, it has to be the Roosters. They're just way too strong. They just keep going. They're going to be extremely hard to beat.
They are
for the NRLW again. Once again,
they're undefeated through 10 rounds of this season. They have also, I think, for the back end of last season, I think they're on a 17-game winning streak at the moment.
So it's hard to see them losing this one. Yeah,
hard to see them losing this one. I will give you a heads up, mate. It's 14-0 at the moment. The Roosters are winning. So
right, there you go.
There you go. Tomorrow night, Eels versus Bulldogs. Eels playing for a top 6 spot. Bulldogs also playing for a top 6 spot. They're very inconsistent, both sides.
I might just go to Bulldogs. I don't know why.
Okay.
I don't know. They seem to be able to get a surprise result this year, so I'll go Bulldogs.
All right. If you go Bulldogs, I'll go Eels.
Yeah.
Wait, are the Eels playing the Bulldogs? Where's the...
Have you led me down the garden path here?
I might have, actually, mate. Let me just double check the thing. Yeah, no, Bulldogs. That's right. And then Saturday, we've got the Broncos and the Cowboys. Both teams have qualified for the finals. Broncos have only lost one game this year so far, which is to the Roosters. Who's your tip in this one, mate? Broncos at home?
Broncos against who, sorry?
Cowboys.
Oh, yeah, Broncos. I think Broncos at home. They'll be a bit too strong, yeah.
Yep. Titans versus Raiders. Titans playing to keep their final spot alive. Raiders can't play finals footy this year. I'm going to go the Titans.
Yeah, I'll be I think the Titans as well. Yeah.
Sunday, we've got the West Tigers up against our Warriors, mate. I'm picking our Warriors for a massive win in this one.
Yep. I think we're going to come home strong. We're going to finish off what's been a pretty good season by retaining the women's version of the Mike Doreen Cup.
Well, yes.
Do we have someone that's played for both teams yet?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
We do.
Emily Curtin.
The Emily Curtin Cup. So I think we're going to retain or win the inaugural Emily Curtin Cup.
Curtin Cup. There you go. Wonderful. And the final game is the Knights versus the Dragons at McDonald Jones Stadium. Gee, they've had a lot of games at McDonald Jones, those girls.
Yeah, Knights.
Yeah, Knights for me as well, mate. Knights for me as
goods.
well.
Yep.
Anything else to discuss, buddy? I did want to say, and someone mentioned it in the chat just before, so a bit of signing news. So Gail Broughton, the Broncos number 6 in the NRLW, has signed on for the Warriors on I think it's a 3-year deal to come home to New Zealand, which is a massive signing for us. I really hope it doesn't affect Patricia Maliepo, who has been outstanding for us this year. And Hazen Mellors signing a 3-year deal with the Warriors, son of Vince
Mellors,
former Warrior, who did play. I think he played 7 games for us, 2003, 2004.
03, 04. Yep.
We actually watched Hazen play earlier in the year when we were at Redfern Oval.
You said, isn't that Vince Mellors? I'm like, how could you pick Vince Mellors out in the crowd? Nothing against Vince, but we didn't see a lot of him. So, no. But yeah, you're spot on there. We saw him then. We're like, what's he doing here? And then we worked out, his son is in the team. Apparently he's got a bit of toe, which is exactly what we need. So, and
good size to him too. Good
size.
Yeah, absolutely. The other signing rumours are Tom Arley and Toby Crosby, both looking like they're going to be heading to the Penrith.
Sorry, Holick. That must have ruined your day, but he's his biggest fan, the Warrior Holick, on Toby Crosby, that is. But I mean, he's a guy that plays bench for New South Wales Cup, and we can't keep everyone. We've only got a 30-man squad, so I don't know. Who knows? He might be one of those situations where he goes over to Penrith, gets a bit of experience, and then comes back to us a better player. Who knows?
Yeah.
And who was the other one again? Tom Arley. I mean, I don't think he's played first grade all year, and he struggled. No. He struggled to break into the team the last 2 years, and we seem to say it every year, like, oh, it's going to be a big one for Tommy Arley, and it seems like his moment just hasn't arrived, or for whatever reason, he just hasn't. Webby just doesn't have full confidence in him. I don't know, but it might be. He might be the kind of player that just needs a change.
Yeah, true.
Probably turn to be another Isaiah Papali'i.
There'll be a lot of player movement over the next couple of weeks, which will be something that we can discuss.
Yeah,
the next couple of weeks.
Teams are starting to release their list of players that are
Penrith.
Being
13 players.
Yeah, 13 players. And look, to be honest, not many of them had been sort of regular first graders. There was Dane Laurie was in there, who I think is a handy player. Who was the other one? The halfback, Schneider
going to the Dolphins. Luke Summerton, one for me. He's a son of a mate of mine, a guy that I played a lot of footy with when I played
playing on the weekend.
And the interesting thing is, it's not only Luke that they're getting rid of. They're getting rid of Luke Summerton, but they're getting rid of Sonny Luke as well. So that's both of their backup hookers gone, and Mitch Kenny is like the only one there. So I don't know. Again, maybe they've got guys coming through that, I'm not up on the pathways programs at Penrith, so I don't know who they've got coming through. But yeah, it's an interesting one. They're talking about Dane Laurie maybe going to Cronulla because Will Kennedy's asking for too much money. The interesting one I heard today was Tommy Turbo looking to go to the Super League.
He wants to get de-entrenched from the Siebes system. So I don't know. Siebes might be lucky to be there.
Speaking of which, your mate, Nick Ennis.
Who's this? Oh, here we go.
He's gone to the Dragons.
Yeah, okay. One of his many clubs that he played for.
Yes.
The Dragons. Is that so he can get a better view? Is there anyone in the Dragons that he particularly likes? I mean, we know he loves the young superstar, and who's the other? And he loves Marky Mark, and who else? But he's just he loves Nathan Cleary as well.
Yes, he does.
He loves a man with a strong chin like himself.
Absolutely. Yeah. Do you guys know what are the qualifications to become an old boy for the Warriors? I don't know.
I think you just one game. Yeah, there's been a heap of guys that have turned up that have played just a handful of games. So yeah, I think that's it, mate. You just have to get on the field in the Warriors jersey, and so there you go. The likes of Doc Murray and Mehdi Nouveau, and who are these other guys?
Should I send them? Should I send them my email address to put me on the old boys list, because I do share the same name as an ex-Warrior? Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I don't know how many games the original Mark Carter would have played, but it was a handful, 3 games in '96, wasn't it? Yeah. He came the same time as Sir Winger.
Frano Bodica. Oh, it's Sir John
Frano
Kerwin.
Sir John Kerwin came in 95. Frano Bodica was 95. And then 96 we got Mark Ellis and Mark Carter.
Yeah.
Mark, I've been watching a bit of Mark Ellis's stuff on that Sports Cafe podcast and that sort of thing, and he does mention Mark Carter in one of them when he talks about coming over the league, and he said that Mark Carter just played like the wrong style of game or something. I don't know, because Carter came from the Blues, and
Ellis, Mark Hotto, and Mark Carter all debuted against the Illawarra Steelers.
Oh, yep, round 2, 96.
Yes.
Yeah.
Round 2, 96.
I do know that it's been really hard to get any information on Mark Carter since, like, he retired. I remember Charlie Russ used to try and keep up his database on the NZ Warriors forum with all the whereabouts of the ex-players. And he said there's been a handful of guys that have just been really hard to get any info on. Mark Carter was one of them. One guy, he said, Jason Mackey. So Jason Mackey played for the Warriors in 95. Reckons he's literally dropped off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
Can't get any info on him. So, but he does a great job, Charlie, on the NZ Warriors forum. Got the best Warriors jersey collection you've ever seen.
Mate,
and
can I say, because I don't think we didn't do a show last week.
No.
How good was it to see Mike Doreen himself at the Old Boys Day?
Oh, it's so good. I was looking at it and I was like, is that who I think it is? And it was. We confirmed it, because if anyone's going to recognize Mike Doreen, it's us.
Correct.
We'll be able to confirm his identity, I should say. We didn't recognize him at first, but a bit of research went into it. But yeah, it was great to see him there. He did a tour of the Kiwis Museum as well. With Matt Knox.
With Gordon Gibbons.
Met him. Gordon Gibbons, yeah. Matt Knox, got a photo with him. And I said, mate, you've met MD25. You've met the man. Ellis Ridge or Kerwin. Yeah, I don't think they have had much. I don't think any of those guys have had much to do with the club since retiring. Definitely not Ridge. If you watch that, there's a famous clip that it was from last year or the year before or something, where he's talking about his time at the Warriors, and he said it was like a pretty tough part of his career because he'd come from that Manly system where everyone knew what to do, everyone knew their roles, and he said he came to the Warriors and it was an absolute shambles, and everyone was just like looking to him for leadership and guidance, and although having said that, he said he didn't regret playing for the Warriors, but yeah, obviously a really tough time to be involved in the club. And speaking of which, this is a good segue. We're going to get Trevor McEwen on when the season's finished. So Trevor McEwen was the Warriors CEO from 99 to 2000. A very, very pivotal, interesting, and let's face it, pretty dark time in the club's history. And it'd be really fascinating to hear what he has to say about that period. So we're in touch with him at the moment, and we're going to try and get him on once the season's done, because that would be interesting for a lot of us guys that have been following the team for a long time to find out what led up to the period where Eric Watson came in and basically bailed out the club. So,
because we did when we had Mark Graham on, he did speak about that period in the club's history, didn't he?
Yeah, he certainly did, and it would have been a tough time. The club, I think, virtually went bankrupt, and they weren't able to pay the players. In that 2000 season, and we almost folded. So, Brandy. Well, actually, here's something interesting. A lot of people talk about Brandy and his association with the Warriors. Obviously, Warrior number 7, and it's a bit of an interesting one because he was a foundation Warrior, and he does talk when he's directly asked about his time at the club. He always talks fairly positively about it, but everything else that he projects seems to suggest that he doesn't have a lot of time for the club, or doesn't particularly associate fondly with the club. And I think it probably has to do with his personal circumstances that occurred that led him to want to leave Sydney, to get out of Sydney and to play for the club. So I don't know whether there's a subconscious thing there or not. I don't want to put words in his mouth or anything like that. But yeah. So in commentary the other night, they cut to a shot. This was in the Parramatta game where the old boys were there, and they cut to a shot of all the old boys up having a few beers, watching a game, like Guttenbiel and usual suspects were all up there, and Warren Smith was it Warren Smith or was it Vossi? Anyway, they said, mate, you're an ex-Warrior. You could be up there. And he goes, and he said, mate, I would love to be up there. He said, I would love to go and join those guys. And I thought that was an interesting comment. But he said, but we need you here, Brandy, to call this game. And I was, and I do remember an interview with we interviewed Stacey Jones, and Stacey Jones spoke glowingly about Brandy's influence on him. And pretty much the reason that Brandy left the Warriors a year early after '96 was he didn't want to block the path of Stacey Jones, who had come through. So he went. It worked out perfectly. He got to go back and have his sort of farewell at Penrith, where he'd played the majority of his career. But I remember him saying that he was quite close with that group from '95 to '96, and he said a lot of them all came over for his wedding at the end of 1996. So he does have, I guess, an eternal attachment to the club, but I think it's just not as strong as his association with the Panthers, where he played the majority of his career, won premierships. So
I'll tell you what, if anyone has any contact details for Warrior number 2, we would love to get him on the show.
Phil Blake.
Yeah.
I don't know. Malcolm, do you ever come across him? You're at the Manly. You're in the Manly area. I don't know. Phil, does he still live in Sydney? I think he was someone said he was living at Manly. Phil Blake. I don't know.
Malcolm,
if anyone comes across him, put him in contact. Put us in contact with him.
I think you're meaning Tooks, not Toovs. I definitely know Toovs would not be embraced by the Warriors, Fano. Tooks is actually now employed by the Warriors. We're going to get him on in a couple of weeks to have a bit of a chat. He's now going to be involved with that. The Logan
nursery.
Yeah, pathway system that's been set up there.
Yeah, Tooks.
Everyone knows we're good mates with Tooks. Catch up with him quite often. So we spoke to him that day up at Logan, and he did say that he'd be happy to come on again. And another one we want to get on for another chat is Kevin Camping. We want to try and revisit some of these guys that we've got great relationships with. That we formed because of this platform, and bring them back on, because it was interesting, because when we had Pricey on the other day or the other week, and also Michael, 2021 was when we had these guys on the show.
Yeah, so it's been 4 years, and
and
like whenever we have them on, like we still love hearing about the same classic moments in Warriors history, but they always bring something else out. Like there's new stories and new yarns that come out, and like we'll continue to do that. We'll reach out to some of the guys we've had on before and get them on again and hear their perspective on how the team's going at the moment. Because when we had them on, the team was struggling. Team's in a much better place now, and it's always good to hear. To hear how the old boys are kind of their perspective on the way things are tracking.
Tracking down, Malcolm, because I actually knew Phil quite well after his rugby league career finished, and I knew his wife quite well. She was when I was working in the club, she was working for an entertainment company, and they used to come and do some entertainment stuff at the club I was working at, and Phil used to be there quite a bit. And that was when I think he was at Manly Rugby Union coaching at the time.
Yeah, I remember hearing that.
Yeah, don't know where he's ended up now. And he'd be a great chat, because he was another one of those whiz kid kind of players that came through the system. But he a guy that everyone thought would stay at Manly forever, and he ended up playing for, I think, 6 different NRL teams.
Yeah. Yep. He was
Manly, North,
Dragons,
South, St George, Warriors. Is that it? 5? Raiders. Did he go to the Raiders?
Roosters? Oh, did he play at Roosters?
I don't think.
Ian Henderson. Ian Henderson is a guy we'd love to get on if anyone can put us in contact with him. We bloody love Hendo, the way he used to play the game. All the other guys have told us some funny stories about him. So if anyone is in contact with any ex-Warriors and you guys would like to hear from them, mate, just let us know. Put us in contact, and we'd be happy to get them on for a chat, because that's what we love doing here. One of the main reasons we started this show as well is we love the team, and we're big we're day one fans, and we appreciate the history of the club and all the players that have gone in to make up the DNA of the club. And one game, 300 games, doesn't matter. We'll chat to anyone that's pulled on the jersey, and we'd love to do that. Yeah,
absolutely. Mate, that about wraps it up for tonight. A little bit of housekeeping before we go.
Yeah, mate. So thanks very much, as always, to all our Patreons. Malcolm, you're one of our great Patreon supporters, so always great to have you on. If you would like to support us and what we do here in Ruin Hammer, jump onto Patreon, follow the Ruin Hammer link there, and we got different packages there. Some of them entitle you to some of our fantastic merchandise. And speaking of which, if you want to grab yourself some merch, and I'll tell you right now, guys, Redbubble has a sale on. You can get 25% off all your T-shirts on our Ruin Hammer store. So jump on there. Make sure you go through our store, redbubble.com/people/Ru and Hammer/shop. Jump in there and have a look. We've got some new tees in there. Jump in, grab something under $30, and you can get yourself a Ruin Hammer tee. And in the process, you'll be supporting us in what we do. And we greatly appreciate all you guys that have bought shirts. Hammer's got the full collection there behind you as well. So thanks to you guys, and you get something out of it as well. You get some cool new threads, and we'll continue to release some designs as well over the holidays. I've got a Zesty Boys shirt that'll be coming out soon, the young forward brigade. So I'll get that one out soon. And of course, speaking of old boys and speaking of legends of the club, Michael Witt, Warrior 134, make sure you check out Vital Man for your men's supplement needs, meal replacement shakes, and Vital Drive. Make sure you go on there and check it out. And you can use the code RUINHAMMER, and you will get 20% off your order. So jump on there, check it out. It's the best tasting meal replacement shake in the business. I can vouch for it because I use it. So, yeah, make sure you jump in there, check it out, and support Witty.
Absolutely. Well, that wraps it up for tonight. A couple of things. Obviously, if you're in Auckland, make sure you get to Go Media Stadium Saturday afternoon or Saturday evening. Get to Lily World, meet up with the great man Richie Morgan and the usual suspects. Join the Hikoi back down to the stadium. If you're in Sydney on Sunday, two events you can get to. You can get to Cambertown Stadium at midday to support our NRLW girls in their final game of the 2025 season. Or if you're closer to the Balmain area, you want to get to Leichhardt Oval at 1 p.m. to support our New South Wales Cup boys as they play their first finals game. We win this, they go straight through, get a week off and go straight through the grand final. If they lose this one, they'll play the winner of the Eels versus Raiders next weekend.
Let's go, boys.
Let's go, boys. Everyone stay safe. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers for last weekend.
Yeah, it was I had a great day. I'm sure you did as well.
I did. I've got I'm catching up with the family this weekend because Father's Day last weekend. My birthday is the following next weekend. So this weekend, get all the kids together and do a combined Father's Day, Mark's birthday situation. So everyone stay safe. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you all next week. Up the wires.
Thanks, guys. Up the wires.